You are losing her right now, this very second, and you haven't even noticed. The loyalty you thought was guaranteed has an invisible expiration date, and every day of complacency is one less brick in the fortress that protected you. I'm going to show you why the woman by your side might be re-evaluating you as you read this, and how to reverse it before it's too late. Listen to what no one had the courage to tell you. Female loyalty isn't a trophy you win and hang on the wall. It's a plant that dies without water. You were taught that true love is unconditional, that you just need to be a good man, work hard, be faithful and honest. A lie, or rather, half-truth. These things are the bare minimum, the foundation. But you forgot that foundations without maintenance crack, leak, and crumble. And when you wake up from the coma of routine, she already has one foot out the door, cold, distant, and you don't know when it started. Here's the truth that hurts. Loyalty and attraction aren't contracts signed at the altar. They are dynamic products of your ability to maintain and demonstrate value, leadership, and purpose. While you thought it was enough not to mess things up, reality demanded active maintenance from you. And you, sitting on the couch, thinking you'd already won, started losing without realizing the game never stopped. The less you invest in yourself, the more she disinvests in you. The more you get comfortable, the more restless she becomes. And then comes the silent nightmare. The glances that last less. The conversations that don't flow. The sex that cools. You feel confused, betrayed, because you did everything right according to the romantic manual they sold you. But that manual was written by someone who never had to keep a fortress standing for decades. Think of your life as a fortress. High walls, robust gates, alert sentinels, stocked supplies. When you won her over, your fortress was impeccable. You trained, built, planned. The walls were your clear boundaries. The sentinels were your frame, your unshakable perspective in the face of pressure. The supplies were your purpose, your ambitions, your hobbies, your identity beyond her. But what happened next? You sent the sentinels to sleep. You let the walls crack. You stopped replenishing supplies. And you thought that just because she was inside the fortress, you were safe. Wrong. She observes everything. She tests the cracks. And when she realizes the fortress is vulnerable, her instinct changes. She doesn't disrespect you less out of malice. She simply reacts to what you have become. Now, I'm going to name what's destroying you, and you didn't even know it had a name. First, the boundary test. You call it nagging, drama, PMS. I call it a shit test. It's when she disrespects a commitment of yours, questions an obvious decision, or creates a conflict seemingly out of nowhere. It's not randomness. It's a probe. She's testing if your walls are still standing. If you give in, over-explain, lose your temper, or beg for peace, you've failed. Example, you make plans with friends, and she invents a flimsy reason for you to cancel. If you cancel, she files that away. He gives up his own priorities. He's weak. I can push him more. And she will push until you no longer recognize your own life. Second, frame maintenance. Your frame is your reality's framework, your perspective, your core. It's your ability not to enter her emotional frame every time she pushes. When she's upset and wants you to join her in the chaos, and you maintain your calm and direction, you are maintaining your frame. When she uses emotional blackmail and you don't negotiate with internal terrorists, you are maintaining your frame. Lose your frame, lose her respect. And without respect, there is no attraction, only obligation and boredom. Third, the reverse halo effect. Remember when she found your confidence sexy? Now she calls it arrogance. Remember when she loved your kindness? Now she sees it as weakness. What changed? Not the actions, the perception of value. When your perceived value drops, she reinterprets everything you do through the lens of disappointment. Your dedication turns into insecurity. Your care turns into neediness. This is the side effect of stopping your climb up the ladder. Fourth, the attraction ladder. Attraction isn't binary. It's not 0 or 1, present or absent. It's a scale. You climb up, you climb down, every day. Every time you go to the gym, you go up a rung. Every time you give up on a project that excited you, you go down 2. Every time you assert yourself with respect, you climb. Every time you beg for attention, you plummet. And she feels this before she rationalizes it. Her body reacts to the man you are today, not to the man you were when you first met. Fifth, the abundance rule. It's not about having other women. It's about having a life so rich, so full of purpose and possibilities, that no woman can be its central axis. Men who act with a scarcity mindset, afraid of losing her, who place a woman as their sole source of happiness, instantly lose value. Why? Because pressure repels. Emotional dependence is repulsive. When you act as if she's your only option, she feels the weight. And then she looks for a man who doesn't need her to be complete. Brutal irony. The more you cling, the more she slips away. Sixth, the challenges of relevance. She needs to feel that you are still a prize, that there's mystery, that there's a challenge, that there's something to conquer or maintain. When you become household furniture, predictable, without surprises, without tension, she loses the chemistry. Not because she's bad, because she's human. We all need stimulation, and if you offer zero tension, zero unpredictability, she will find it elsewhere, sometimes only emotionally, sometimes not. Seventh, the tipping point. There are crucial moments where everything changes. It could be a crisis where you fail to protect her. It could be a cowardly decision you make. It could be the day she realizes you gave up on yourself. These tipping points don't have an easy way back. The respect that is lost in an instant can take years to rebuild, or never return. Now let me tell you about 3 men who learned this the hard way. Carlos, a 38-year-old manager, married for 12 years. He worked like an animal for the first few years. Gym 5 times a week. Clear ambition, contagious energy. She admired him. After the promotion and stability, he relaxed. He let his body go soft. He traded personal projects for binge-watching TV shows. He started prioritizing the couch. She began going out more with her friends. She complained about the lack of spark. Sex withered. Carlos felt confused. But I'm here, I'm faithful, I pay the bills. Yes, Carlos, you are the bare minimum. And the bare minimum doesn't sustain attraction. Today, they live like polite roommates. She doesn't cheat, but she also doesn't desire him. And he feels he was cheated, but he was the one who sabotaged his own fortress. Pedro, a 29-year-old entrepreneur. He won his girlfriend over with energy, ambition, a promising business. He was fire. After a year, he started putting her at the center. He canceled meetings for her. He abandoned his friends. He asked for her approval for everything. He thought he was being a good boyfriend, present, attentive. She started finding him clingy. She couldn't breathe. He lost his purpose, becoming her satellite. She broke up with him, saying he'd changed, that he wasn't the same man she'd met. Pedro entered an identity crisis. He gave everything and lost everything. Why? Because he didn't understand that giving your all is different from nullifying yourself. He traded his own axis for her orbit. And orbits are unstable. Marcelo, a 45-year-old professor. Idealistic, romantic. Always believed in unconditional love. He gave in on everything. She wanted to control the finances? Okay, she disrespected his boundaries? It's for love. She used emotional blackmail? He swallowed it. Over time, she became tyrannical, demanding, disrespectful. She used him as an emotional and financial crutch. And he, exhausted, resentful, continued. Why? Because he thought love was suffering. Today, Marcelo lives in a toxic relationship, having lost his self-respect and hers. And he feels trapped. He confused love with servitude. Perhaps you recognize yourself in one of these men, or all 3. Now, pay attention to the mistakes that put you there, or that will put you there if you don't wake up. Mistake number 1, pleaser behavior. You tried to please her in everything, sacrificing your boundaries, your desires, your direction. You think this will keep her happy and loyal. The result? She loses respect. She sees you as weak, manipulable. Attraction and respect go hand in hand. Without respect, no attraction. Without attraction, only obligation. And obligation has a short shelf life. Mistake number 2, complacency and personal neglect. You stopped going to the gym. You stopped reading. You stopped pursuing dreams. You stopped growing. You thought the conquest was complete. Now it's just about keeping the boat afloat, right? Wrong. You are wilting. And she feels it. The man she chose is disappearing. In his place, a zombie who goes to work, comes home, eats, sleeps, repeats. Where is the man who made her feel something? Mistake number 3, ignoring boundary tests. She tests. Always. Not because she's mean, because it's instinctive. She needs to know if you are still strong, consistent, reliable. If you ignore the tests, if you fail repeatedly, she files it away. He can't handle pressure. He's not a rock. He's sand. And sand supports nothing. Mistake number 4, constantly ceding your frame. You let her dictate everything, the dynamic, the decisions, the emotional tone. You think this is partnership. It's not. It's abdication. And when you abdicate leadership, someone has to take over. Usually her, against her will. And she resents you for it, for not having a backbone, for forcing her to be the man you should be. Mistake number 5, excessive emotional dependence. You made her the center of your life, your only source of happiness. When she leaves, you panic. When she's in a bad mood, your day crumbles. You transferred your core to her. This is a ticking time bomb. She feels the pressure. I am responsible for his happiness. That's not romantic. It's suffocating. And she will look for air. Mistake number 6, emotional reactivity. When the dynamic changes, you react with anger, jealousy, resentment. You explode or implode. This pushes her even further away because it shows you lack emotional control. It shows you are desperate. And desperation is the opposite of attraction. Now breathe, because it's not too late. Not yet, but it requires action, not tomorrow, today. Here is the protocol. Step 1, reaffirm your purpose. Dedicate time and energy to your personal, professional goals and hobbies. Why? Because a man with purpose is magnetic. A man who has somewhere to go, something to build, a reason to exist beyond a relationship. That man is attractive. What's more, he's not dependent. He chooses to stay. He doesn't need to stay. That changes everything. Step 2, maintain your boundaries. Communicate and defend your boundaries calmly, clearly, consistently. No negotiation, no excuses. Boundaries are the walls of your fortress. If you don't defend them, they crumble. And without walls, you are invaded. By unrealistic expectations, by disrespect, by manipulation. Men with clear boundaries signal self-respect. And self-respect is the root of others' respect. Step 3, manage your personal value. Continue actively investing in your physical, mental, and social development. Why? Because value is not static. It requires continuous maintenance and growth. You can't just deposit it into an account and forget about it. The world changes. You change. She changes. If you stop growing, you are regressing. Train, read, learn, connect, build. Be better today than you were yesterday. Step 4, lead the dynamic. Take initiative. Propose activities. Maintain a proactive stance in your relationship and in life. Leadership is not dictatorship. It is direction with confidence. It is making decisions when no one else wants to. It is being the rock when everything shakes. Leadership inspires security, attraction, respect. And if you don't lead, you are being led or you are adrift. Both are failures. Step 5, observe the signs. Learn to identify boundary tests and signs of disengagement or declining attraction. The sooner you detect them, the easier it is to correct. Ignoring signs is like ignoring your car's oil light. You might even keep driving, but when the engine seizes, there's no turning back. So pay attention to the words, the gestures, the tone, the frequency. Everything communicates. Step 6, cultivate internal abundance. Develop the mindset that you are a prize and have options. Not just romantic ones. Options in life, in experiences, in paths. You don't need her to be happy. You choose her because she adds to your happiness. This mindset reduces anxiety and increases confidence. And genuine confidence, the kind that comes from knowing your own worth, is irresistible. Look at me now. This is the moment you decide. Not next week. Not when things get worse. Now. Because every day that passes without maintenance is one less day of fortress, one more day of erosion. And there comes a point where erosion is irreversible. Do you want to be Carlos? living as roommates with his own wife? Do you want to be Pedro, lost because he gave up his identity? Do you want to be Marcelo, trapped in a cycle of disrespect and exhaustion? Or do you want to be the man who wakes up, who understands the dynamic, who acts? Female loyalty has an expiration date not because women are fickle, but because loyalty, attraction, and respect are living products. They breathe. They need nourishment. And you, out of naivety or laziness, let them starve while you thought they were guaranteed. The good news? You can reverse it. But that requires you to stop deceiving yourself. Stop thinking that merely existing is enough. Start building. Start maintaining. Start leading. Here is your binary choice. Option A, you ignore all of this. You continue on autopilot. You keep thinking that romantic love solves everything. And in 6 months, a year, 2, you wake up in a dead relationship. Or worse, alone, confused, swearing you did everything right. Option B, you act today. Pick one of the 6 steps. Just one, and implement it. Go back to the gym, restart that project. Define a boundary you've been ignoring. Any action that signals I'm back. And from there, you rebuild. Brick by brick, step by step. And if you still think this is manipulation, that it's cynical, listen closely. This isn't about controlling her. It's about controlling the only variable you can, which is you. It's about being responsible for your value, for your direction, for your fortress. This isn't a game, it's reality. The dynamics of attraction and respect exist whether you want them to or not. Ignoring them doesn't protect you, it only leaves you vulnerable. Understanding them gives you power. The power to choose. The power to act. The power to build the relationship you want, not what's left over. So here's what I want from you. Comment below. Share an experience where your perception of value, or the lack thereof, affected a relationship. Or even better, commit to a 30-day plan to invest in an area of personal development you've been neglecting. Post it here. Make it public, because public commitment creates accountability, and accountability generates action. And action is the only thing that will pull you out of the hole you're in or prevent you from falling further. Within 48 to 72 hours, you will identify a boundary test or a sign of declining value in your own dynamic. And then you will take a small action to reaffirm your frame or your boundary. Or you will start that self-development activity you dropped years ago. It could be as simple as going back to running, as direct as saying no to an unfair demand from her, as significant as resuming that professional dream. Small actions, big changes. Because fortresses are not rebuilt in a day, but they start with one brick. The naked truth is this: female loyalty is not unconditional. It never was. And you sold your happiness and your peace, believing in the fantasy. But now you know. Now you've seen the mechanics. Now there's no excuse. Either you act and rebuild your fortress, or you watch it crumble in slow motion while swearing the problem is external. Choose. But choose quickly, because time doesn't wait, and neither does she.